This is episode 42 of Miracle Minute, where we give you inspiration and encouragement to be a living miracle. And today's title is Traits of Christian Creativity, Be Thankful. And this is the sixth video in a series of 6 videos on Christian creativity. I created Be a Living Miracle to inspire Christians to do good works for others. But in this series, I am inspiring Christians to create for the Lord. The opening verse, "And let the peace of God rule in your hearts, to which also you were called in one body, and be thankful." There is so much to be thankful for as Christians, and in this case, God's peace is in our hearts. And I'd like us to see that as we create, that we can be thankful for everything that we are creating for the Lord and what He has done to prepare us to create. Creativity is very personal. As a Christian, you create for an audience of one, and that's God. As you worship the Lord with your gifts, talents, and skills, you should have the joy of the Lord, peace that surpasses human understanding, and an awareness that you are bringing God good pleasure. Your confidence will grow as you continue to bless the Lord with your creativity, and you will begin to see doors open because of it. I believe that blessing the Lord with your creativity will make your life more abundant, and we know Jesus promised, "I have come that they may have life, and that they may have it more abundantly." What a lovely promise. And I believe that creativity can help in that abundant life. Creating for the Lord brings God good pleasure. It is for His glory, and it is doing the will of God from the heart and soul. We have meaning when we create for the Lord. And these are the 6 traits of being creative based on the life of King David. Trust in Jesus Christ, intimacy with God, be courageous, be disciplined, have perseverance, and be thankful. And I'd like to describe this trait number 6, be thankful. And these are the subtopics: for your purposes from God, for your creativity from God, for the good pleasure you bring to God, for the blessings you provide to others, that God will prosper you as you give Him the glory for your creative works. This is exciting. And so here are some questions. Have you thanked God for your gifts, talents, and skills? Have you thanked God for your creativity? And has God prospered your creativity? Hopefully after this teaching that you will be able to answer these questions, accept the challenge at the end of the video, and begin to be more thankful and more creative as a bondservant of Jesus Christ. Creator God is living inside of us, inspiring us, giving us gifts, and empowering us. And I have a couple of scriptures for each of these subtopics. For your purposes from God. So we want to be thankful for what God has purposed for us. May He grant you according to your heart's desire and fulfill all your purpose. That's a wonderful promise. And I believe part of this is being creative for the Lord. That you may walk worthy of the Lord, fully pleasing Him, being fruitful in every good work. So we can fully please God when we create for Him, I believe. And we know that all things work together for good to those who love God and to those who are the called according to His purpose. So God has a purpose for us, and we know that all things work to the good. And so as we create, we know that we, in our creative efforts, it will all become good. What a blessing. For we are His workmanship, created in Christ Jesus for good works, which God prepared beforehand that we should walk in them. So part of the will of God is that God has foreordained good works for us to do, but I believe it also involves doing creative works as well. The second subtopic is for your creativity from God. So your creativity is from God, and to be thankful for that. And it says, a man's heart plans his way, but the Lord directs his steps. Let God direct you into creating something for him. A man's gift makes room for him and brings him before great men. God has given you gifts, talents, and skills purposefully for you, and he will open doors for you when you exercise and improve the gifts, talents, and skills that he has given you. I will praise you, for I am fearfully and wonderfully made. Yes, David said that, and we too should be praising God for the way that he has created us. But by the grace of God, I am what I am, and his grace toward me was not in vain. So hopefully, as you exercise your gifts, talents, and skills, you can say the same, that it was not in vain. God invested in you, and that you can return that investment to him in what you create for him. The third subtopic is, for the good pleasure you bring to God. So you do bring good pleasure to God, and I believe part of that is by creating for him. Let the Lord be magnified, who has pleasure in the prosperity of his servant. And I believe as you prosper creatively, you can say, the Lord be magnified. Well, he will have pleasure in your prosperity. The Lord takes pleasure in those who fear him, in those who hope in his mercy. So as you fear the Lord and you do creative works for him, know that God takes pleasure in that. For it is God who works in you both to will and to do for his good pleasure. And we know whatever you do, God is pleased, for it is for his good pleasure. Make you complete in every good work to do his will, working in you what is well-pleasing in his sight. So whatever God is working in you to create, it is well-pleasing in God's sight. Release what he has given you, that more of God will be well-pleased with what you are doing, for the blessings that you provide to others. Therefore, as we have opportunity, let us do good to all, especially to those who are of the household of faith. And so as we begin to exercise our creativity, it will bless others. This involves doing good works for others, but I believe, creatively speaking, like Dorcas, who made clothing for other believers, and they were blessed by what she created for them. But she had to learn that skill. And so I just say today that when we commit to doing creative work and we improve, it will bless others. Let them do good, that they may be rich in good works, ready to give, willing to share. So Paul is writing this to rich people, that they shouldn't trust in riches, but in the living God. To do good, to be rich in good works. And so I pray that you would be rich in creative works as well. But the manifestation of the Spirit is given to each one for the profit of all. So your spiritual gifts were given to you to profit others. And I believe your creative skills, talents, and gifts are also to profit others. And the king will answer and say to them, assuredly, I say to you, inasmuch as you did it to one of the least of these, my brethren, you did it to me. And so we realize that as we do something nice for somebody else, Jesus would say, you've done it unto me, or to one of his brethren. When we do something for another Christian, we're in fact doing it for Jesus. But when we are doing creative work, more importantly, we're doing it for God, and God will be pleased. And lastly, God will prosper you as you give him the glory for your creative works. So, no matter what you can do, no matter how talented you are or gifted you are or how skilled you are, we know it's from God. Eye has not seen nor ear heard, nor have it entered into the heart of man the things which God has prepared for those who love him. So as we invest in our creative skills, talents, and gifts, we will have blessings that we can't even imagine in this life. That your charitable deed may be in secret, and your Father who sees in secret will himself reward you openly. And as you are doing your creative work alone with God, eventually God will reward you openly. Allow God to use you to create for him. And finally, let us not grow weary while doing good, for in due season we shall reap if we do not lose heart. And this is the idea of completing creative work. If we complete the Christian life, if we don't grow weary, we will reap the benefits of that. And we are also not to grow weary in creating, because we will eventually reap the blessings. And God will be glorified. And so here's the challenge. Thank God for your imperfections and His grace. Your gifts, talents, and skills aren't perfect. Mine aren't. But let's be thankful to God, and His grace will make them valuable. Thank God for something you created in the past that you may not have acknowledged. Confess to the Lord that He will prosper your creative effort. He will prosper it, no matter how rudimentary you think your skills, your talents, or your gifts are. God will be glorified when you use them. He will improve them. And ask God in humility to empower you to create something new. To recap, be thankful for your purposes from God, for your creativity from God, for the good pleasure you bring to God, for the blessings you provide to others. God will prosper you as you give Him the glory for your creative work. Whatever you create, you will bring God glory, and it will be for His good pleasure. When you are thankful, you will be a living miracle. So thank you for watching. Please click like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Be a living miracle today.